Hey, what's up, y'all? This is another Just Stories with Jay Hudson. Just Stories with me, of course. Sorry, y'all have been on my stuff. So let me get back on it. So, myself, time to make another Just Stories for y'all. Today, or for this one, I kind of want to talk about those times. Oh yeah, and give it up to the Astros for winning the World Series. Go Houston, go Astros. Y'all did y'all thing. Keep it going, keep it going. But I want to make this just stories about kind of like those times in my life that I can remember that I felt a little less than for being myself, for being myself. And then those times that I felt like alive or I felt happy for being myself. So kind of like both of them. But let's go with I guess the negatives first. Negatives first. Let's do that. So I say the first one I can think about was, the time that my my mom's ex boyfriend. This was like when I was like I had to be in like kindergarten, like not even kindergarten, probably kindergarten. So it was probably like preschool, kindergarten area for my life. My mom had a boyfriend and stuff, and I mean he was. You always had those people that they just look like it was like they were up to no good. They probably never like did stuff around you that was up to no good. But there's always you always that feeling. He was like that type of person. They say had like an aura around them that was like not cool. But I just remember this one time and stuff. I finna say my mom was probably like finna go out or something. So she was like about to put contacts in her eyes. So she was gonna use her contact solution. But she didn't know that her boyfriend at the time put bleach in her contact solution. So I don't know if he was like just trying to make my mom go blind. He was that mad at her. But yeah, I just remember that. I remember like police coming to our house and stuff, and then they found a gun or something like under the bed and stuff, and it was I remember this whole ordeal. But I just remember like the simple fact that I feel like I was so young and so like just I couldn't help my mom at the time. So I guess that was just the first time in my life where I felt like I felt less of as a person because I just couldn't help my mom. Like I couldn't do anything. Like I was a little kid, but I saw her in pain and stuff, and then I don't know if she was trying to get out of the situation or what, but I just knew it wasn't a good situation. If someone's gonna put like bleach in your contact solution, like what? I'm like, what? You really have to think about this shit. Like you really have to think about that. That's just me thinking as a kid, like that is some evil stuff. Like think about that. You just finna put your contacts in. I'm girl, I'm finna go out. What? We finna hit a bar or something. I'm probably well, I don't know what I'm finna do tonight, but finna go out. And then you put that dot. You like what the what? I don't know how much he put in there. Good thing my mama didn't go blind. She's got her sight, but I'm just like, wow. But he did like some other shit, but I just remember that. Another one would be, I remember because I just, as a kid, I guess, because, I mean, when you live in society, especially like the earlier 2000s, I feel like my childhood was 2000s era. Cause I was born '96, so yeah, 2000s was my childhood. I guess in that time, social media wasn't a thing and stuff like that, but it was really like people raised like boys as in to be masculine and things like that. So I feel like I always known that I was different from like my other like siblings and stuff, and for other like people. I feel like I did feel like I knew that I liked the same sex. I felt like that I was okay with being a little bit more feminine than most guys. I wasn't like I feel like I wasn't mad at it, but I knew in society or I knew in like the way that my family was raised and was raised that I had to hide that or shade that off. So I knew I just from like being around like all my brothers and stuff and stuff like that, I knew how to like use my how I sit and things or how I talk and things like that to try to like more masculine it than more feminine it I would say, or just be myself and just be a little bit of mixture of both, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of like figured that out just growing up is just how to like kind of like change it as the scene goes. But I remember I had to be probably around first or second grade, maybe third, but somewhere around that area. This is when my mom got a new boyfriend, and this when we actually moved to another house. So we moved from another house. It was in like another like neighborhood. That's the neighborhood that we moved into, the one that I like call like my childhood neighborhood and stuff like that. But my mom got like a new boyfriend and stuff, and he was living with us. So he was like, and like, nah, I don't think they got married yet. But it was like he was gonna be my stepdad anyway. But I just remember like I think we were about to eat or something, So everyone was in the kitchen and stuff, and I just remember I think I had my hand on my hip like that. Like I was like waiting for the food. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for my food. I got my hand on the hip, just waiting on the side. I think I was leaning on the wall too. And I was remember like he just like yelled out, "Hey, get your hand off your hip!" And then everybody just stopped and just turned and looked at me, and I'm just like, oh, it was just. I just remember that feeling. I was like kind of like embarrassed and then kind of like in shock. I was just kind of like that feeling where it's like I don't know if you ever have to do this. Probably people that worked in jobs they feel uncomfortable. They have to like feel like they have to act a certain way and things like that to fit into society. That they put up like a mold of their true self around. So I feel like just me having to hold this mold outside of my own household. I'm thinking like my home, I can like take off the mold a little bit and just relax. I'm like, I'm finna eat. I'm tired. It's nighttime. We finna eat dinner. Like, man, go on somewhere with this. But it was just me as a little kid. I was just like, dang. It was like those times. I don't know. Some people still feel this way. Like even in their own home, they have to like put on like a shield or a mold or something. They're not because it's like the people that are around them. They don't think the same way. They don't feel the same way. They may have been raised a different way and things like that. And then everyone is living their own lives and everyone thinks their life is right life. So, but I get where he was coming from. I mean, because like again, like he was like raised a different way. And then in society in that time is like if you don't raise your black son to be masculine and do all these things, then you didn't do your good job. That's how he stereotypes like dads so they was in the life and stuff, and then we stereotype guys that didn't have a dad. Oh, he might be a little feminine, so because they didn't have like that masculine like person to look up to and stuff. But yeah, I remember that happened, and I just remember like it was just kind of like okay, now I know I need to put up this shield even in my own home, so it was kind of like weird and stuff. So I don't know, yeah, it was hard to think about, but it did happen. I just remember that's just always something I can remember. Is me having my hand on my hip, is waiting for food. It's like, oh, get your hand off the hip. I don't know if he yelled. I just remember that. I was like, oh shit, everybody's looking at me. I even think my mom was in the room, but she ain't saying nothing. Everybody just stopped. I don't know. I remember they said something. I just can't remember. I just remember he said that. It was just so like awkward, embarrassing. It was just oh shit. I was like, dang, let me stop being relaxed. Let me go on and tighten up a little bit more like the shit. Another one is, let me see. Oh yeah, so I feel like this next one is kind of like when I got into band and stuff. Cause first I got into band, it was like the first like really big thing I got in. Like when you could do stuff like with the school, like when you're like in like junior high and stuff. But I remember I always like liked cheerleading, like when I watched like Bring It On and stuff like that, like all those movies. I was always loving those movies. Those were like good movies. I was like, oh, I want to tumble like those people. They look fun and stuff. But when I got in band, I went to like they had like this band day at like the UCA I went to first. Like it's called UCA. I mean the college I went to first called UCA. They had like a band day. We went there and I remember like watching their cheerleaders the whole time when we stayed for the football game. So ever since then, like 8th grade, I was like, okay, I'm going to become a cheerleader. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna be a cheerleader next year. But I remember this one time because people knew that I was. It was I think around that time. It was basketball season because I remember I played basketball before I cheered and stuff. And I remember we were at this game or something. I don't know if I was talking about cheer or something. Hold on. Shit, I don't know. My bad. I don't know if I was talking about cheer or something or not. But I remember sitting like it was, and I think we were like at a way too. So it was like someone, I think on a girls basketball team or something. they just came up to me, was just like dogging me for trying to try out. They was like, why? They was like calling me all these like gay and stuff and stuff. I was remembering, I was just like, damn, like what's all of this like hostility coming towards me just because I want to try out? Like it was just so weird. I didn't get that much of it, but it was get like some people like, oh, you can't try out because you this, because you that. But really, the reason like I could try out, it was just people stereotypes because I guess we did never had like a male cheerleader at my high school. I think we did like a long time ago, probably in the '90s, one of them. But I was like the first one like in the 2000s and stuff like that. But it was just weird. Like she like came up to me, and then I just yeah, that was another time where I guess I felt less of as a person because I mean. I want to do this thing. This is something I want to do. I want to become a cheerleader. Like I'm trying to learn how to tumble and stuff like that. I think it's cool. So to have someone that I mean, I don't know if she knew me. She did go to my same school, but just come up to me like, oh, it's like, why are you trying to cheer and stuff like that. I don't know. She was trying to try out too, and she just thought I was gonna take another spot. So she was like mad. Because I was probably gonna take another girl's spot. I mean, yeah, if they ain't better than me, they gonna take my spot. If y'all ain't better than me, then I'm like, sorry for you. But yeah, I just remember that this girl just came up to me and just was just putting me down because I wanted to cheer, and I was like, wow. Other one was, oh yeah, okay. This next one was real hard because this next one was kind of like a reason why I became so confident in myself because I guess I finally got the approval. I don't know if I always had it, but I finally got the approval of the person I really love, which is my mom. But I feel like I had to tell her and stuff. So I remember like the time that when I first told my mom that I was gay. It was like I knew she was there. I knew she knew something was gonna come up because I don't know what. I think she was picking me up from something. Because when did I come out? Did I come out when I was in ninth grade? I think I came out when I was in ninth. It was ninth or 10th grade I came out. In one of those years. So I don't know if she was picking me up from something or nothing. Or what, but I just remember no one else was in the car, and I should have got in the passenger seat, but I didn't get in the passenger seat because I was like, oh, I don't know what she's gonna do. I can't look in the face when I tell her this. I don't know what she's gonna do. Oh, kill him. So I said, let me get in the back seat or something. Or I think it was like. We stopped at a gas station or something, and then when I got at the gas station, I got in the backseat. It was one of those. Anyway, so I was trying to tell her before we made it home. So I was like, oh, I gotta tell her we almost home, so I want to tell her, I gotta tell her on the road. And so I finally told her, like, I think I tried to say it real fast, like, okay, mom, I'll tell you something. And I think she knew something, because she kind of like got like a little stern, like in her voice. She was like, what you talking about? What you want? And I finally told her. And I guess like it was just that I was telling her more about me, but it was like when I told her that I was gay and I finally got it out and she understood what I said that I was gay. It was that she just started crying. And I think she said like I can't talk to you right now or something like that. So that just kind of, I get what she meant because it was a lot to tell someone, especially someone that, again, was raised a certain way, brought up a certain way, told her all her life, this way is wrong, this way is right. So, in a sense, and the person that loves you, that wants everything good for you, so I understand where she was coming from. It's a lot to take in. But just me as, I guess, a kid or a child that just wanted, I guess, the okay that how I'm feeling or how I always felt was okay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like if someone was just right or wrong or something, I wouldn't really put, because I mean this is the way I was made in a sense. So it's kind of like telling someone that's like, not saying like being gay is special needs, but telling someone that's like has a special needs or something, like, okay, just don't want, you know what I'm saying? It's make this whole deal about it, not loving them for them and stuff. So I guess it was kind of like that in a sense for me as a kid. Like when she said that, I was kind of like I didn't want to talk to no one. I didn't want to talk to my brothers and sisters about it. I was like I always told her and stuff. But she finally came around and stuff about it, and we came closer and things like that. But for like the first time telling her, I just felt less of a person, felt lesser than for being myself because I finally had to get it off my chest. But I don't know, you can always want that, okay, son, like, I know it's okay, like, I've always, like, I kind of, like, wanted that, but I kind of didn't get that at the time and things like that, so it's kind of like, okay, like, oh, should I told her, like, did I mess up our relationship, like, more and things like that at the time, but, like, over time, I found out, like, we became closer and things like that. But in that situation, it was hard to get off my chest. And finally, when I did get off my chest, it's kind of like when you get something off your chest, you want like, kind of like more of like not an exclamation mark, but kind of like a relief. Kind of like more of a relief. Like I got the relief because I did tell the person that means the world to me, which is my mom. But then I just wish like the reaction would have been a little bit, I don't know. But it was kind of hard because, I mean, I think we're both emotional people, so. She just didn't know how to take it in. But that was another time that I felt a little bit less than for being myself. Another time is when, okay, so I started cheering when I was in 9th grade. So I cheered 9th grade for my high school, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. But 11th grade, I went to Boys State. I got like accepted to Boys State. I guess I was one of the nice students with good grades, guys in my high school. So thanks for my high school for letting me go to Boys State. It was a good experience. But yeah, I met this guy that he was a cheerleader and stuff. He cheered for All-Star. I thought that was cool. So he told me to come to like one of the practices. I loved it, but it was like the practice was always from a small town, and the practice was always an hour away. Like it was an hour away either in Little Rock or it was hour away in another like city or town in Arkansas. So I always have to drive. It was never like close to me and stuff. But I remember going to practice. I became on the team and stuff. And the guy was cool and stuff. The team was cool. I feel like they was kind of like, they are like mostly like city people and stuff. So it's like who is this person? He don't know nothing about All-Star. But I tried my best. I did my best and stuff. But I guess I always looked up to one of my teammates that told me, I guess, about his team and told me to invite me to his practice and stuff. And I guess we never really hung out really outside of the team mostly, but I still like looked up to him and stuff like that. I wanted to, but I knew that we were from like different towns, and I was barely making it to practice. Like thank God, my grandma, love you grandma. My grandma let me use her car to drive to those practices. So shout out to my grandma. She was the best for that because without her, I was not gonna make it to those practices. But I remember this one time. How I'm gonna get into it. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. But I remember we were at this one competition. So like one of the biggest competitions for All-Star cheer was in Dallas, like NCAA Nationals for All-Star NCAA Nationals. And he was like kind of like probably still is, a cheerlebrity. Like those when like cheerlebrities was a thing, and he was like on this thing and stuff like that. So just me, like I'm just thinking, I don't know. I just remember like we were doing good or something. No, this was not NCAA Nationals. This was it was either Worlds or NCAA Nationals. I don't forget which one was it. It was a Worlds NCAA Nationals. But I remember NCAA Nationals, I was riding with him, and that's why I thought we got a little more close, because I did ride with him a little bit at NCAA Nationals, like in his car and stuff. Like he took me to a Whataburger for the first time. Like if y'all are in Texas and stuff, close to Texas, y'all got a Whataburger. You know, he put me on to the chicken biscuits, honey butter chicken biscuits for the first time. And so we got it cool. But it was just one time we were at a competition, and I think it was Worlds, because the Worlds, like, we was one of those teams that we was like, no, it wasn't like a big cheerleader team. Like I feel like he was the only really. It was probably like one or two other like cheerlebrities, but I feel like he was like one of the biggest cheerlebrities on our team. This was in Arkansas and stuff like that, so you don't see like that many cheerlebrities come from Arkansas. But I remember like he was like talking to all of his like big cheerlebrity friends at like Worlds competition, and I think I was trying to talk to him or something. I feel like I was trying to talk to him or something, and he just looked at me like in a way that it was like, "Do I know you?" Like he didn't say, "Do I know you?" I don't think, but you know when someone like look you in a way like, "Why are you talking to me around these friends of mine?" You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like that. In that sense of like, I love him to this day. Like I have no problems with this person. Like I love him. I have totally respect for him. But it was just at that time I just felt less up as a person, so I was like, oh, like, cause I mean, he was like, people did know him around the world, but it was like, wow, like, I just felt like a group at the time. I'm like, bro, I'm your teammate. Like, we have practice with one another, like, 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week and shit. When it got closer to worlds and stuff like that. So it was just like, like I was like, kind of like, okay, I see you, like I understand, like let me back off, let you have fun with your celebrity friends. You don't see them because you don't see them that much anyways. But it was just like, okay, well, I know when you're around these people, let me not be around. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like that. Like I know when I'm not wanted. But he like gave me like that look, like, why are you talking to me right now? Like, is it like that? Why are you talking to me? Look right now. Do I know you look, or like, you know what I'm saying? It was one of those looks. So I was just like, oh well. But like to this day, like I love the person and stuff. I feel like he's a cool guy and stuff. But yeah, that time, yeah, I'm sorry. If you know who you are and you hear me talking about you, I'm sorry. That time to this day, I just remember I just felt less of a person because I was like, damn, this person is really acting shady because I'm trying to be around them. But I guess because he was around his friends that he was like, go and find your other friends. Find your other teammates and shit. What else? Oh yeah, then I talked about this I think on like another just stories. It's the time just when I was in college at my first university, and I didn't get accepted to be like in a brotherhood. If you know what a brotherhood is in college, wasn't got a part of that and shit. And I felt like it was not for the best reasons, but I mean, hey, it happens. Move on and stuff like that. But now I want to talk about those times in my life that I felt like alive for being myself. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I've been trying to drink some herbal tea this morning. I think I drunk it too fast. I don't know. But the times I felt like alive, or I felt in a good place for being myself, was I remember when I was in grade school. I was in grade school and I don't know if we took a test or what. We probably took a test or something. But I got put in, it was called GT, or GT stood for Gifted and Talented. So this was like all the people, I guess, the creative minds, or they thought the creative minds were, that took the test that everyone took. It was no more than 15 of us, maybe like 10. But I remember it was a couple of us. I remember yeah, it was a couple of us, but it was like we went. It was like once a week, I believe. I think it was like just once a week. We would get out of like one of our classes and go to Gifted and Talented. And in Gifted and Talented, we would like have to like just solve puzzles, think outside the box, and things like that. Ask questions. Like we might like have like an icebreaker where like one of our teachers for Gifted and Talented. Shout out to our teacher for Gifted and Talented. I think it was Miss Ragland. Mrs. White, Mrs. Ragland. Shout out to y'all. Shout out. Love y'all. And then Miss Wilson. Miss Wilson too. Miss Ragland, Miss Wilson. I think Miss Wilson just a part of Odyssey of the Mind. But I'm getting to Odyssey of the Mind. But yeah, we always like say like they'll like give us like it was just like all like puzzle shit and like puzzle stuff. So I think that's why I got more into like that and stuff. It was just fun just to get into something where I could like think outside the box, where it was okay to ask questions where people didn't think about, okay, I'm debating. It was like, okay, why is this? What's the reason this? It was like trying to like solve puzzles and stuff. It was very cool and stuff like that. And kind of artsy as well. But then off of that, it was like this thing called Odyssey of the Mind. I think like most states and schools had it, but it was kind of like Odyssey of the Mind was taking those creative people who wanted to try out, and it was saying it was like contests against other schools of solving puzzles, putting together like a skit. Like they were like, it was like themes and stuff. You put together a skit and stuff. You have to like make your back walls and all your stuff. So people loved me because I could draw. So I remember I would do a lot of like the help drawing like the back walls of stuff and the stuff that we needed like for the skit. So that was cool. but I loved Odyssey of the Mind. So those were like two things in school that I felt like, okay, for being myself. But like it's actually like things for like in the public schools for like people that are feeling like creative or thinking like they are thinking a little bit different than the others, a little outside of the box. So I thought gifted and talented and Odyssey of the Mind. Shout out to the public schools, and to my school back in Arkansas. Thank y'all for having that. And then yeah, so when I actually I stuck to myself, and I wanted to become a cheerleader in 8th grade. When I saw like college cheerleaders, I was like, okay, I want to do that. I want to figure out how to tumble. But I like worked hard, practiced, and I became a cheerleader. I want to say captain my first year. So I was a captain of like the junior high cheer team my first year in 9th grade, and I stayed and I was a captain my senior year as well. And so like just began doing that, and like being able to represent like your school, represent your town, and things like that. Kind of like you're an ambassador and stuff. That was cool and stuff. And I feel like I became like popular for that. I feel like I got some stuff for no reason. But I feel like sometimes if you're just in that light, people just think, because it was like I feel like some awards they gave me my senior year. I ain't dogging it, thanks for the awards, but some of my awards I was like, did y'all make sure I had this in the system before y'all gave me this award? And y'all just think, oh, this is Jay Hudson such and such. Oh yeah, he gonna have it anyway. I'm not gonna look and make sure he was in this class. It's like, you know what I'm saying? But thanks for all the awards and stuff. I love them because I think I was I was an honor student, and I was a outstanding senior. So I got like a little thing like in the yearbook and stuff for that. That was cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, thanks for the. I feel like I earned their awards. I'm not saying I didn't earn them. I'm saying that. Another thing was, so after high school, I was tried out for college cheer and stuff. Made that, so that was a cool experience. But then after that, when I didn't get accepted to be a brotherhood at my first college, I said, am I going to stay? I thought, am I going to stay at this college and try it out again, or I'm going to just move to another college and just get onto the cheer team? One that I kind of thought that would be better, but it wasn't really better. So I go like, shut up. Nah, everything happens for a reason. Cause I'm in Texas. I probably like Texas, so I'm just saying I thought the cheer team I was going to transfer to was going to be better, but yeah, just remember the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is not greener on the other side. People, y'all think that all y'all cheer college hoppers that think y'all just gonna keep hopping in schools. Let me stop. The grass is not greener on the other side. It's gonna always be problems. But yeah, it was cool. So when I did transfer to the school in Texas where I finished out my degree at and stuff like that, that we had nationals and stuff. So I feel like when I was in Texas, I could be more myself. Like I could act masculine when I wanted to, but I also act more feminine because I was more away from home. So I could like just be myself if I wanted to. Whatever friends I was around, especially like in the cheer world, like I can just be myself. So I felt more alive when I was in Texas cheering, just because like at nationals and stuff, and I had like friends that wanted to dance, so we would like dance and stuff, and we would like make these like 8 counts up and practice some, because it was like other like in the cheer world, just like when you go like to college nationals, you'll have like the Quita dances and stuff, and those kind of like majorette dances, almost same thing, really the same thing. But it's like 8 counts, you're throwing 8 counts, so it's like be these other teams. I remember like battling some teams. It was like they was better than us. But I love to compete, y'all. Like I don't care if I'm competing by myself. If I made it up, I want to show it off. So I feel like my best friend, he had most of the moves down. But then my other friend, he never wanted to practice. He wanted to come. I'm in the front, so we got this like triangle effect. So I don't know what the fuck they doing behind me. I don't know they messing up, but I'm getting it. I look behind me one time, I said, you ain't even on count, my guy. I'm looking like, what are you doing? Look at the videos, I'm like, what were y'all doing? I said that was not how we was doing it, but it was still fun in a sense, just to be in that scene, just to have fun with my friends that wanted to dance and wanted just to be free and not care what people thought about you just because you was dancing a certain way or you were moving your hips a certain way. It was fun just to compete with, and be on that level with the other like gay guys from other cheer teams that wanted like to dance with us, and we like learn from them. They learn from us some of our moves. So it was a fun experience just in that light and everything. Like Daytona, if you never like if you're a cheerleader and you never been to like college nationals, NCAA and stuff, it is a blast. Lots of fun, especially like Stunt Fest. Stunt Fest is lots of fun. That's what I was talking about. Like we would dance and stuff. Like when the competition was over, like the competition was on like Thursday and Friday, and then we would like dance and have fun like on Saturday. And they also had like mascot competition on Saturday as well. But it was like a big like festival of like cheerleaders just like having fun and stuff, dancing, tumbling, stunting, big blast. So that was fun, and then finally when I found like another part of myself, when I got more into myself and I felt more alive, is when I really started writing poetry and I started like writing songs. And what got me into writing it was big emotional things that happened in my life or happened around me, and I always felt like I need to do something for this person to make them feel better. I need to do something for me to make me feel better, or to make stuff kind of like understand more what's going on. Kind of like when I wrote a song about me and a relationship from like a person I want to look up to, which is could be like my dad, my mom's, more people. So I wrote it Future Face. And another one was a poem that I still haven't put out yet, but I think I called it Armor on the Ground. And Armor on the Ground hit home really deep for me because it was like, that was for a woman that's from my hometown. Excuse me, but she lost her husband for cancer, like a cancer fight. So I wanted to write a poem for her in a sense, but then I want to like make it to a song. I think I put like a flow to it. But those like things made me really want to get into it more. So writing poetry, but then also like performing it, like it makes me feel so much alive. Like every time I can get on stage and like tell people like what I've came up with and tell a story and make someone feel a certain type of emotion, I just feel so alive. I just feel, especially when I know my words and stuff and then everything go without a bang, especially if I can like just touch one person, I'm like, okay, it's making me like transferring energies and things like that. It's making me like feel like, okay, I'm doing something like correct, I'm doing something for a purpose, like it's feeling good and shit. Oh, excuse me, what was that? When I became close with my mom, I started performing. Oh, and the last thing, I guess, that goes in back, just relating it back to when I told my mom that I was gay and stuff. But then after that, it was just, I feel like, I don't know if distance has made us closer, but I feel like I am like really close with my mom. We could be closer. I could text more. Sorry, Mom, I can text you more, call you more. I'm sorry, I be in my own little world sometimes, but it does make me feel like more alive too. Just be, especially when you love someone like your mom, you still have like them in your life, and your parents, to be close to them and stuff like that. It just makes me, it's like I can help them and they help me building those relationships. I just feel more alive, and I feel like I'm myself. Especially when I can be myself around her. I think that's what I was going to. That I can be more of myself around my mom and stuff, like the getting it off my chest and let her into more into my life. The icebreaker was telling her that I like the same sex and I'm gay or bi or however you want to call it. Was letting her in. It was harder for her at the time, so that's why it was like the first time when I told her, I put it as one of those negatives. Like I felt less than of myself because I wanted like a little better of a response from her, but it was a lot to put on her at one moment. I feel that. But now, like over time, it's like I feel more alive and I feel more myself because I let my mom in on more stuff of my life, and we talk about more stuff, and she's talking about her past and her traumas. I talk about like my past, my traumas. So I feel like that makes me more alive having those conversations with her and stuff. So that is, but yeah. So remember, like this, Just Stories was about times that I felt a little less than for being myself, but then those times that now I feel more alive and I feel more positive, I feel happy for being myself. Is it so to show you that sometimes like to break a cycle, or sometimes to get out of a funk, sometimes when you need to, like, you know something's on your heart or you know something on your mind to do something, or your gut, You're gonna have those bad experiences. You're gonna have those bad reactions. You're gonna get those, like, cause people are not used to you getting out of that normal they think or that stuff. So breaking out of it, but that light, I'm telling you, that light at the end, that light that you're working towards, it only gets better. Sometimes you're gonna have those bumps in the road. You're gonna have those mountains and valleys, but you're gonna get to that peak, that you're gonna stay is like, wow, like I've done all that. I worked hard. You're gonna see that it's gonna make you into the person that you're gonna be. You are today. But yeah, that's just what. Just make sure, like, whatever y'all want to do, whatever, like, be yourself. Just make sure whatever happens, be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. That's what I guess my conclusion is. Just stories. This was about being yourself. Even though if someone's gonna have something negative.